Welcome to the first episode of Across the Web. I'm your host, SPYDAWEB, and today our special guest is Amar Monroe.
Alrighty, what's good, y'all?
Our first question today is, where are you from, and how does that affect your work and your work style?
Where am I from? So I was actually born in a really small city, and this is crazy that you asked me this because I don't talk about like where I'm from and stuff a lot, but I was born in a small city called Riverside, California, and it's way, way east of LA, like almost near the border towards, what is that, Las Vegas or whatever's east of California. What's directly east of California? So there's Arizona, right? There's New Mexico, one of them, but it was right there. But I live in Houston right now, so that's really what I represent. Like, that's what I consider my hometown. That's the city that welcomed me with open arms. So, city, Houston. I see we got Low Key in the chat. He's from Houston. What's good, Low Key?
How does being in Houston, or how does growing up in like California, how did that affect your work and your formation to how your style was built?
I gotta say, I don't know how much like living on the West Coast really affected my musical style. Like I definitely listen to like a lot of Tupac, you know what I'm saying? I listen to, I don't know who else is a West Coast rapper. Like I listen to E40, like all those Bay Area rappers and things like that. But I think Houston really had an influence on my musical style just because I fell in love with the whole, if you're from Houston, you know, the whole chopped and screwed scene, you know, the slowed kind of remix sort of thing. I fell in love with that sound, and honestly, it inspired a lot of like the R&B that I do today. Because if you guys notice, like I do a lot of slow, you know, even like my dance song, like my newest song, Bop, even that's kind of like on the slower side, you know what I mean, for like a Afro pop type joint. But I'd say the culture here really influenced me more than anything, and as a result, you know, that influenced my sound.
I have to say, Bop is named appropriately. It's a bop.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I wanted it to be. I don't know if I told you the story behind Bop. So Bop was inspired by, well, the concept of Bop, right? It's like a happy dance song, like I was saying earlier. And it was inspired by a comedian. So I have a friend. Her name is Leah Sampson. Shout out to her because she was the one that actually helped me line up the gig. She was headlining for the show here in Houston at Rice University, and the show was curated by a comedian named Stacy K. Stacy sent me a DM on Instagram and was like, "Hey, like I love your music, I love your sound, your vocals are fire, but your music's so slow. You know, we're at a comedy show. We need to hype everybody up. We need to be making everybody feel like we're about to have a good time." And then I reflected on my music and I was like, "Damn, she right. Like I don't have any hype, you know, danceable music." So I was like, all right. She said she wanted a bop, so I wrote one. You know what I mean? So that was the whole inspiration behind that.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. It's great to hear the story behind releases, and that's a great one.
Yeah.
And it plays really well into the chorus line.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, it was really creative.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I was struggling so hard because it was like a week until the show, you know, and it was a new song at that point, and I had written one other new song that I haven't performed or released since then. But it was like I was under a lot of pressure when trying to write that song, and it was a little out of my comfort zone. So after that, I noticed that I started writing way more creatively. So it was something that, you know, put some pressure on me, but in the best way possible. So it was fun.
That's how I love to do it. I kind of like to wait last minute for things, and then all the pressure's on. But that's when you know, pressure makes diamonds.
Yes. Yes. I love that saying because it's true. It's very true. But yeah, man, the story behind Bop, that was a really fun concert to do. I think that was actually like my last real, oh, actually no, I had a performance a couple weeks ago, but a fun show it had like 300 people at, you know?
Dang.
And I felt totally in my element. It was a lot of fun, man. Like I really do love to like be in front of people and perform and stuff like that. So
I'm still working on getting better at that.
it's a quest, man. Like performing live it's really like a challenge of like how comfortable you are in front of people and how comfortable you are with yourself. And it's not for everybody. You know, performing is definitely not for everyone. And I mean that in the best way possible, because I think that a lot of people have a lot of like a great array of talents. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I can't mix. I can't produce. Like I've tried. You
I
know,
feel
I could probably mix better than I could produce, but you know, I personally really enjoy performing, and I would love to like have the opportunity to do that again, and hopefully next year. Next year.
I I definitely am also working on getting more performances too. I just I got kind of shell shocked after the first two didn't. I underperformed in my eyes, but that should it inspires me to do the next one. I just want to make sure it's all right. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's all end this time. Everything was down to not enough planning before.
Yeah,
But on to the next question. Who are your biggest artistic influences?
man, that's such a good question. Like, I feel like that's a question that's asked a lot, but it's so important. Because, like, if you know about somebody's, like, best or what they consider their most major influences, I feel like you really tap into, like, who they are as a person, you know?
Right?
So that's a great question. But to answer that, I would say, like, probably Alicia Keys is probably one of my favorite artists of all time. I think she's incredibly talented. Um, I think Usher is one of, you know, a big influence as far as like, you know, older stuff. I like Tank. I like you know, Boys to Men, stuff like that. Newer stuff, of course. I love The Weeknd. I love Drake. I love Trey Songz, like stuff like that. I think Miguel. I don't know if I said that already, but I got a chance to meet Miguel one time, and that was a lot of fun. He hugged me, and I may or may not have not wanted to let go, like security like coming on me like, no, come back. No, no, I'm kidding. No, it was fun. He was really nice. You know, we took a picture, we took a selfie or whatever, and I told him, you know, thank you so much for creating music. Like, you have no idea how much your music has done for me. And me, like, I'm very like one of those people that like, I know how busy some people are, so I try not to waste anybody's time. And so, like, I was saying this as I was like walking away, because there's 100 people behind me that want to meet him as well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as I'm walking away, he's like, thank you so much for that. You know, there's more to come, like this and that. And like, I could just tell, like, it was a dope moment, like as an artist, to meet somebody that you know, admire so much, and to have such a genuine interaction. You know, it was cool.
Right?
But he did hug me, and I did hug him back. It
That's awesome.
was sick. I'll post a picture one day. One day.
Where do you find your inspiration?
Um, I think that's like a lot of artists. I find my inspiration from like different moments or different experiences that I've had. One thing I really try to make a point to do is not sing or rap or talk about anything that I don't know about. Like I make a adamant effort not to speak on things I don't know about. So you'll never hear me talking about, you know, I'm there's a lot of things I haven't done. I'll just say that much. You'll never hear me talk about something I've never done. So, but my experience is mostly like I was talking about earlier. A lot of people ask me like, "What's your process?" Or that's a good question in general, right? What's your process as an artist? For me, shout out to the producers out there, because for me, my creative process starts with y'all. It starts with a beat, and whatever that beat makes me feel. You know, sometimes a beat, much like a smell or a food, you know, it'll take you somewhere, right? Emotionally,
Absolutely.
it'll take you somewhere, and you kind of marinate on those emotions. And for me, you know, when I'm really understanding, or when I'm done understanding how I feel, I write all that down. You know, I listen to the beat over and over, and I write all those feelings down on paper. So
We have a very similar method, but
yeah.
I just go up to the mic and play it,
Oh
and then, but I don't okay, so that's kind of misleading. I don't just go through the entire song off of one, but I go line by line.
yeah, yeah. I've definitely like wrote a couple songs by like freestyling them first, and then I always record myself. So I don't know how you come up with concepts and stuff, but I always record myself, because sometimes I freestyle and it could use some improvement, right? But sometimes I freestyle and it's fire. Like I'm like, oh man, that's bad. That's a great melody, like this or that. So I have a bunch of recordings on my phone of like videos and stuff that eventually turn into songs. You know?
I I more or less go with that first feeling that I get from the beat and come up with something that sounds like it'll ride
Yeah,
and take time onto that.
yeah,
But I wish I could sit down and write again. I probably could, but it's not like it used to be, you know, because I just can't translate the melody from paper like I used to be able to do anymore after doing it one way for so long.
yeah. What you mean? Like, oh, instead of like doing it line by line?
Yeah,
I got you.
because
Yeah,
it feels like I lose out on the moment when I write it down. You know what I mean?
yeah. I feel that. I feel that. Like you want it to be organic.
Yeah.
You know, so you just kind of spit what you feel right then and there.
Hmm.
That's cool, man. I admire that for sure.
I definitely have done retakes
Yeah,
several
of
times.
course. Yeah, we all have. I can't tell you how many retakes. Like when I used to record in the studio, I had to basically be like, okay, I'm gonna do this in 2 hours. Like how you said earlier, you were best under pressure. I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish a song in 2 hours. Like there's no, you know, studio time's expensive.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna finish this in 2 hours. You know what I mean? It's gonna get done. And so, but all in all, like to kind of go on a tangent here, I'm really glad a lot of things happened in my musical career, such as like me spending so much time at the studio and all this, because it taught me a lot about recording, about the process, about how long it should take appropriately, you know, working with other people. Like, so yeah, shout out Baron Studios in Houston, because they taught me a lot of stuff about music and the music industry and promoting and all that stuff.
You'll have to send me their links and stuff if they have them, and I'll put them in the description of places where this goes.
Okay, bet I will. Shout out Dorothy Chan too. She was my engineer, and she's engineered for some like big people. And another cool fact just about her, she was on, I think it was Michelle Obama's like favorite top 20 songs of like 2021 or something like that. She mixed and mastered one of those songs, so it was really cool.
That's wild.
Yeah, she has a much longer like resume, but that was just one thing that I remember that was super cool about her.
That's dope. Shout out.
Yeah, man.
When is your favorite time of day to create?
Late night. Late night. It's
Oh,
always the best time to create for me.
I agree. I heavily agree.
Yeah.
It's so peaceful.
Yeah. I feel like for me, especially like as an artist and as someone with like hella ADD, when the world is moving around me, it's kind of hard for me to focus. And I can like feel when the world is moving around me, right? We're so used to this routine and we kind of already know. So when it's nighttime, I feel like I can kind of calm down and really get in my element. Everyone's asleep. I don't have to worry about anyone listening to me, or because you know it sounds. I don't know if you've ever like tried to show someone a song that's in process before, and they're like, "What? Like, what are you showing me right now? Like, what is this? You know?" And then you show it to them when it's done, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?" Like, it's. I almost feel kind of that way when I'm recording in front of other people. It's like they hear one thing, but I hear something else. So I like doing stuff on my own most of the time.
Definitely, I can definitely relate to how you put that, and I agree with I feel the world moving around me. I know that the processes in the other rooms are happening. I know outside cars are, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
it's a lot. And at the night, it's easier to just single where you are and be very present.
yeah, exactly.
Note, how do you define success as an artist?
Man, so I feel like this is a kind of a tough one because there's so many varying degrees of success in my eyes. Like,
Levels.
yeah, exactly. There's levels to this shit. No, but real talk. Because I think a lot of people see like success as like money and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, for a long time I kind of saw it that way too. But for me, I feel like as long as you're happy happy and you're growing, you know what I mean? Whether that be, emotionally, financially, all of the above, like as long as you're growing, I think that you can consider yourself successful. As long as you're further than you were yesterday, because I can tell you, let's see, what day is it? March 20th of 2021, like 2 years ago, I was like so sad and so depressed, and I was not thinking about doing music. You know what I mean? Like I was partying all the time and doing a whole bunch of shit, and a lot can change, in a short amount of time. So you'll have to remind me of the question again because I went off on a tangent.
It, how do you define success as an
Success. That's
artist?
right. So I think as long as you're growing, you're successful. Because in the past couple of years, I've definitely grown a lot. Even in the past year, like I've grown a lot. I look a lot different. Like there's a lot of things that have changed. But I'm grateful for those changes. I'm grateful for the things that I've gone through because they've made me someone that I consider successful. You know what I mean? Like I would have never thought I would be like anyone would want to interview me. You know what I mean? And I would have never thought that like I would have been blessed with so many people that want to see me win. So
I feel honored to have you on my show today,
thank
honestly, in
you,
truth.
man. I appreciate that.
I
I'm honored to be here for real. Like it's a lot of fun. I feel like we're just having a conversation.
yeah, that's that's how I want this show to be like. I want it to be less like a strict interview and more like a true conversation because I'm genuinely curious about all this stuff.
Yeah.
How how long have you been creating?
I've been creating, man. I've been creating forever. Probably since I was like 3 or 4 years old. I remember like when you're a kid, you be singing songs and shit. You're like it doesn't even make sense. You're just babbling.
I was singing all
Like I remember doing that stuff when I was a kid. Maybe I couldn't write it down, but I sure could babble. you know.
my my grandma's songs that I had written when I was like 5 pages of
Oh,
them.
that's cute. That's cute. I gotta see some. You should make that one of your album covers.
I
That'd be dope.
should.
Little spider. Like, did you ever draw a little spider as a kid? Yo,
Do Spider-Man a lot.
there you go. There you go. That's dope.
But
I drew a lot of rainbows, which makes a lot more sense now that I think about
you start
it.
creating under your current profile, I'd
What
say.
did you say?
When did you start creating under your current profile, current state of mind? I'd say.
Like my current name under Amar
Yeah.
Monroe.
When did Amar Monroe become a thing?
Last year actually. Like last year, probably in. It had to have been in March. It had to have been at least maybe like a year ago. Now that I think about it, because I was looking for names. I was trying to find names, and I was googling. I was looking at like babynames.com. Like I was looking at everything, YouTube, and I wanted an A name, and I wanted a name like that really represented me. And a lot of people, it's funny because a lot of people don't know what race I am. I feel like I'm pretty racially ambiguous, but I'm half El Salvadorian, I'm half Persian. So my mom speaks Spanish, my dad speaks Farsi, which is like a derivative of Arabic, right? And so Amar in Spanish means to love, and Amar in Arabic means architect or builder, which I really thought it was cool that it had two meanings in cultures that like I'm rooted in, and that they had meanings that like I really resonated with. To love, like that's like I feel like my whole mantra is like at least try to show love. I know
Right.
we're all human, but the least you can do is kind of like try to show love, try to show support. And then the whole like builder architect thing was really cool to me because I felt like all in all, when it comes down to it, like I am the builder, I'm the designer, I'm the architect of my own life. I'm the person that designs how to build myself. And so I just thought the name was super appropriate, so I chose Amar.
I think that's really cool. I kind of like that better than how I got my name. I'm not gonna lie.
How'd you get your name, Spider-Man?
Oh well, there were a good few factors that play in it. I mean, most of my life I had been in a really dark tunnel as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the I'd always had always been a fan of Spider-Man and a strong fear of spiders, strong arachnophobia.
I feel that.
And when I was going through different types of drugs and binges at the time and was just struggling overall, and I went through one that I won't even say the name of because it's just so I don't want anyone, it's too easily accessible. I don't want anyone who is listening to know and then go get it. But it fucks you up. It makes you see spiders, it makes you see shadows, ghosts, people who aren't there. It's like schizophrenia in a pill. And you know, I had a really bad run with that while I was in a really dark place, and it all just kind of came together. I kind of jokingly used the name before in my freshman year as like SPYDAWEB because I was like trying to become a rapper while I was still in high school, and I made one song and then just left it. Then I came back in my senior year under a different name, Lil Dexter. It wasn't great, but I eventually just came to terms, like I had the experience again. I was down low and I had that experience with the bad no, and it just came to me to be like, this is it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, man. I'm really glad that, you came to that, conclusion and everything, and that we're here talking, we're here interviewing, you're still making music and everything, you know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that, we're both able to have this conversation right now.
I am too. There have been rough times, but they always seem to work out for the best somehow.
Yeah, yeah, they do, man. Like Alicia Keys said in one of her best songs, in my opinion, it's called "Lesson Learned." Y'all check that one out if you don't, if you have time. But she says like, "Yes, I was burned, but I called it a lesson learned." So it's just like no matter what happens, whether it's good or bad, it's all a lesson. It's either a lesson or a blessing. That's one of the like Southern
Yeah.
sayings, right? I'm sure you know that one. Like,
Yeah.
but man,
What's your
it's all.
what's your deepest motivation to create? Like why what pushes you to make a song?
My deepest motivation to create. So I think that's a really deep-rooted question because I think my greatest motivation to create is so that I can have a career, like a stable career doing this. I really do love music. I really do love doing this. It's the one thing that makes me happy, and really like my my I feel like my pursuit of stability really comes from my pursuit of happiness. I had an IT job. I had jobs that paid me well. I had jobs where I was in management positions, like, and none of that made me happy. I would help people all day, and then these big corporations wouldn't give me a 25-cent raise because it was too much. But then they would brag about record profits and stuff like that. So like it's kind of stuff like that that really motivates me to kind of want to make this my career, because it makes me happy, A, and B, it's because it's something that I feel like I could be successful at, you know. But the first thing I thought when you asked me that, like my biggest motivator to create, I really think about like my mom.
So, how do you develop your art skills? What's your go-to for improvement?
Just doing it, just doing it. I know that sounds weird or that sounds dumb, but honestly, like the more you write, the better you get at writing. The more you sing, the better you get at singing. I've had a whole vocal transition in the past year. You know what I'm saying? And it's not been easy. It has not been an easy experience. Like I had one time, I remember specifically that I was driving the car listening to Bad Religion by Frank Ocean. I don't know if y'all know that song, but if you do, y'all know it has some high notes. And this was like my third or fourth month into my transition, and I had a full-blown panic attack because I couldn't hit the notes anymore. Like, I had to pull over. I was driving. I had to pull over. I called my girlfriend. I was like, "No, I'm having a panic attack. I can't hit these notes." She's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" You know what I mean? Like, but it was like a whole, like, it was crazy. Um, but I, every day with practice, I keep trying to hit the notes. Some of the notes aren't as pretty as they used to be, but I'm still hitting them and I'm still practicing and I'm still challenging myself. And that's really how you get better. That's how you improve, is just doing it every day.
Every day is an opportunity for growth.
Yes, exactly.
I practice very similar. I tend to like find songs from artists I like. Like I tend to practice from Panic at the Disco and Juice World a lot, where
Yeah,
I'll just go through and I'll sing the full song to my best ability.
yeah.
What are your favorite and least favorite things about creating professional art, about being in this setting as a whole?
My favorite thing is the outcome. I love listening to a finished project and being like, "Yo, I sang that, he produced it, he mixed it, he did this, he did," like having like that, like, "Yo, we did that, I did that," you know what I'm saying? It's like the best thing ever. I think coming out with a product that you are proud of and that, you can actually say like emulates whatever feeling you were trying to convey or whatever, that's exactly what I wanted. That's exactly the emotion I was trying to get. Dude, whatever you did with that effect, like, it just makes it sound like you're in the song. That's what I want when I create, and that's the outcome that I love. But my least favorite thing is probably like weeding through like who's serious about their art. I know that there's probably, like, let's say there's 1,000 artists in this room, in the room right now. There's probably like 100 of them that are willing to put in the work, and that's a really gracious and generous number to me. That are willing to put in the work and actually create and do everything else. I say this every time I'm in a public space. It's that when you're an artist, you're not just an artist, right? You know this because you do everything. Like Spider, like, shout out to you, bro. You do everything. When you're a creator, you're not just an artist. You're a content creator. You're an artist. You're a songwriter. You're a graphic designer. You're a website creator. You're a manager. You're a brand consultant. You're a social. I could go on and on and on. So you're all these things when you're an artist. So I think one of my least favorite things is working with people who aren't serious about their craft, because it is a lot. It takes a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. Like, there have been days where I stayed up, like, you know, I don't even know, maybe like a full like 20 hours or something, trying to get some stuff done. Like, for the past month, I've been trying to get this streaming stuff done, because I'm moving all my reviews over to YouTube and stuff like that. So
Shout out
I would,
to the
yeah, I have music reviews. Y'all can come and subscribe to me on YouTube if you want. But it took me a long time because there was a lot of things I had to learn with that. And that's what it is it's a constant learning curve. So if you're not willing to put in that sort of work and you're not willing to try to learn and improve, then, I think that's the most annoying part, is just trying to weed through people who are actually serious. Um,
I think there's a turning point for people once they realize that you either like, because a lot of people walk into it and they're like, I want to be, a singer or a rapper, and that's all I want to
yeah,
do. I think there's that turning point of once they figure it out, they either walk away like straight up,
yeah,
or
yeah,
they push forward, and then there's another turning point that you'll get to where you're like, do I feel like I can keep this up?
yeah. And I think that, like, honestly, like, being the face, or like being the face of the brand, it's not for everybody. And I don't say that to be like mean or anything like that, or to try to discourage anybody. I just say that because a lot of people's talents could be much more well placed in different areas of music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know some people who are, they're decent artists, but they would be fantastic managers because they know the ins and outs of the business. They know the percentages, they know the contracts, this and that. You know what I'm saying? I know certain people who would be, fantastic, like, I don't know, playlist curators, or, media consultants, or like one of the people that I'm working with right now, she's an artist, but she's also a grant writer, so there's
I
just
have
so many possibilities in this game where, if you like to help people, there's a place for you here. If you like to manage people, tell people what to do, there's a place for you here. If you like visual arts, there's a place for you. You know, like music is not just music. You know, you don't have to be the face of the brand to be a part of that. And I think that's a really big thing that some people, you know, might need to come to terms with when it comes down to it.
I had a consult with her as well.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah.
remember, but
Jasmine.
yeah, Jasmine.
Jasmine, yeah. Shout out Honey Gold Jasmine. If y'all tap in with her, definitely tell her Amar sent you because she's helped people win over like $100,000 in grants. So she's super knowledgeable in that aspect.
It was a really good conversation with her, and definitely going to be working with her on in the future, trying to build some business plans and other stuff
Yeah.
together. What would you say that there's a specific environment or like an item or food or anything else that is necessary to your creation? I feel like I know the answer. Being an Oklahoman, I feel like I know the answer.
I mean, as long as I have water, as long as I have my water in the studio, I'm good.
I like having weed. I always like having weed.
I like water, man. Water's good. I'm gonna advocate for water.
Okay,
Water's
well,
good for everyone. It's age appropriate.
people who listen to me are probably teenagers anyways who are going to do what I did.
Water. Bread. But yeah.
Water. What did
But yeah, no.
Mm.
You know, I definitely like to have good vibes in the studio. I have to make sure that if anybody's gonna be in there, that it's people that I like being around. Especially when it comes to like producers and engineers. Like I will not work with a producer or an engineer that I see disrespecting someone else. You know what I mean? Whether that be in person or online, like why would I want to work with you when you treat people a certain way? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if I had to say there's you know, something non tangible that had to be in the studio, it'd probably have to be good vibes, right? Good energy.
I like that. I get that.
Thanks, man.
What do you do if you get a creative block?
Oh, I love this question. So, like I was saying earlier, I have like anytime I'm freestyling or something like that, I try to make an effort to video myself. So in the event that I come up with something fire, I have it on video. I'll remember it for later. I'll refer back to it when I'm in my little studio that y'all see here. Also, you know, if I'm not in a place where I can like, you know what I'm saying? Da, 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 da. I don't know if y'all ever done that, but if I'm not in a place to record a melody or whatever, then I'll write it down. If I think of a rhyme, I'm like, oh snap, girl, world, ain't nobody ever thought of that rhyme before. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll put it in my phone. So
When I
I have a whole note full of just rhyming words, like, you know. So
when I
that's
first
my creative block remedy. So if I'm ever having in a block, then I'll just go back and refer to the note. Go back and refer to the da da
you know,
da.
I think I saw that Eminem does that. I think Karma also said she does that.
Yeah.
I found that to be really clever.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I actually like I've been doing that for a minute, honestly, because I remember when I was serving tables, I didn't really have time to like sit there and record stuff or like, you know, it was always busy, so I just write them down, even if it was like 2 words. It always started with 2 words, you know. But yeah, that's my creative block remedy.
Fun fact, whenever I was just starting out and wasn't even going back under the name of SPYDAWEB yet, I would go into the bathroom like at school and like voice record little ideas I had for the songs
Yeah.
whenever I did work or anything.
Mm.
Because I was all right, I wanna work on music, but like I said, if I catch it in that moment, it feels like it's gone. Recordings work better because I can listen back to it, but like writing it down, it just doesn't keep that energy for later.
Yeah.
So I would go into the bathroom and like be like, "Bitch, get alive," you know.
Oh, yo, you gotta show him that one.
I actually didn't do that one in the bathroom, but that was a bit before. That was a lot later. I don't think I have any of the voice recordings from the bathroom either, because I got a new phone, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, but the first one. What have your critics and like reviewers said about your music?
Man, what you want to hear? The harsh stuff, or you want to hear the not so harsh?
I want to hear the good and the bad side of it.
Well, let me tell you some of the stuff that actually broke me because I've heard things from like you suck, you know what I mean, all the like really crappy things. But the stuff that really got me was from people that were like experts, right? So I tried out for American Idol, I tried out for The Voice, and I think I tried out for The Voice twice. So my second time around, yeah, it was The Voice twice. So my second time around, basically they tell you we're not allowed to give you any feedback, right? They always say that, but whatever. You cry hard enough, you, and I was upset. You know, I'm not even gonna lie. Like I was upset, and the dude was like, "Well, to be honest, you're a great singer, but you're not a singer that's of a level expected of someone in this competition." That was his thing, word for word. You're not at a level that's of someone that, you know, in this competition. And like that was like I cried about that for like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? It was upsetting because these are people that really know what they're talking about, you know. And I think it was a few years ago, so I think I was like maybe like 22 or something at the time, and one of my friends was there, so he heard me like all shaky and nervous singing to this judge, and there was like 10 other people in the room, and so it was really like that one was really heartbreaking to me, but all in all, I think after I was done being upset about it, because that was probably like one of the harder things I had to go through as an aspiring artist.
I mean, it's got to turn inspirational after, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
of course. Like one of the really good things that happened after that was I got a lot more confident because I realized that, you know, this guy is telling me that I'm a great singer. You know what I'm saying? This guy who's an expert. Like for the first 2 weeks, I was crying about the latter half of what he said. You're not of a level. You're not of a. You know, you're not. That was what was in my head. But then when you go back and you think about it, you're a great singer. You're a great singer. You're a great singer. This is somebody who listens to people all day, right? By that same token of what I was trying to say about the negative stuff. Um, so I took that and I was like, you know what? Regardless of how I make it, like I'm gonna make it somehow, you know. And it took a long time, and it took a lot of posting, and it took a lot of interacting, and you know, it's crazy how it all happened. But I'm really grateful that it did because my numbers have been going up, you know, and things are looking really good. And I'm thinking that this year is going to be a really productive year for me. I'm going to wrap up, you know, storyboarding a music video today. So I think the negative turned into the positive fairly quickly. So some of the better things that have happened, obviously, I've been able to create a really positive independent artist community, you know, on Twitter. We have our community. And, you know, because, you know, you're in it, you see everything that we do.
Right.
And I've been able to, you know, do these music reviews, which has been really fun because, you know, I have a lot of fun doing them. It's something I want to do. I can act how I want. I can cuss. I can do whatever. You know what I mean? Like I'm my own boss when I do that. So it's really cool, and it's given me a little platform to share my music, show support to other artists, and make a little bit of money so that I can put that money back into the music, and it just comes full circle, you know. But here pretty soon, I'm gonna try to do some things. Me and Shoe Bear are teaming up for a few things because, you know, he was talking about like we need to do something for the artist community, and I definitely agree. Um, so we're working on something right now. Just stay tuned. I can't talk too much about it. Shoe Bear will shoot me in the foot.
Oh man, if y'all need any help with anything, you know, I'm always all ears.
All right,
But now,
definitely, bro. I'll let you know. I'll ask Shoe Bear. I'll see what's up.
but on that on that end note, what is your dream project? What is when you think of your like album or single or the song that is gonna define you, your, for lack of a better words, your lucid dreams from Juice WRLD.
Yeah,
What do you feel like that's going?
man. I don't know. but I hope it's some like Tennessee whiskey type ballad. Cause that'd be sick. I hope it's something just really meaningful and like cause I can sit here and write like pop songs with the same, chorus all day and stuff like that. But I hope that whatever it is will be something that means a lot to me and, therefore means a lot to a lot of other people too. I want it to be something that resonates with people, but on a deeper level.
I, I think that's great. I think your music now is amazing at telling its story and communicating your feeling and mood through it. I think that you do a great job of. A lot of people I feel like lack their presence in the song. You know what I mean? But you
Yeah.
do a really good job at being everywhere, but not taking up too much,
Yeah.
which is beautiful.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, yo. It's been a journey to find my sound. So I encourage any artist out there that's trying to look for their sound, just keep creating and, once you find something that you really like, you're gonna know it. Like it's, y'all know as artists, when you hear something that you like, you just know it. Your heart feels it, it speaks to you. So hopefully no one's feeling discouraged in the chat tonight, but if you are, just know your time is coming, your sound is coming, like all that.
Every day it grows, improves, and changes too. Like I just started working on a rock song, like a straight rock, almost metal song, which is something that I'd wanted to do, but I never thought was going to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's something totally out of lane of anything I've done before. And apparently Google wants me to do R&B. I don't think you'll have to show me how to do R&B
All
because
right. I'll see what
I
I can do, man. It's like some things can't be taught. Like I don't know if I can do alternative like pop punk like like we can see. No, I'm kidding. But if you want, man, yeah, let me know. We can talk about it.
it's been great having you today. I've learned a lot. I've gotten a deeper insight into you as a person and your brand as a whole. And honestly, it just makes me support you even more.
Thank you. Thank you, bro. Like I just try to be me, I just try to be genuine and I'm not perfect, but even when I'm down, I really try to stay positive and I hope I hope that helps somebody.
Like Juice World said, 999 is turning the negative 666 into the positive.
Yeah.
It translates into everything. I think you're doing a very great job at what you're doing, and I agree that this year is going to be successful.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I can feel it. I know something's coming. I'm just trying to figure out what it is. So I'm just building in the meantime.
Do you want to plug anything before?
I mean, the only thing I can really think about is like I'm moving my music reviews over to YouTube. So if you haven't subscribed to my music YouTube channel, you can find me under Amar Monroe. You can follow me on any of the social links under Amar Monroe. You can Google me. I'm pretty sure I pop up my face like this. So it'll come up. Just follow me, and that's honestly that's like the easiest form of support for me. And subscribe to my music reviews because I put a lot of work into that, y'all. I'm really excited for y'all to see my little music review lounge and everything. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you for having me, Spider. Like this is a lot of fun. I hope to have you on one of my shows here pretty soon, and we can talk about a few things music related. You know what I mean?
I really wanted to get into that last one, but I just wasn't. My back was hurting that day. I tried to, but I just forgot. No, like I was so distracted by like cricking my back. It's still ongoing.
You need to get someone to step on you.
I think I've been sleeping wrong.
Get you one of them pillows with the indentions. That's what I got.
Man, I'm damn near about to be sleeping on nothing but pillows.
Well, damn.
Oh man, but everyone, go stream "Bop" by Amar Monroe. It is a bop. It's hard, it's so smooth, and it's definitely something to add to your playlist.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me. I appreciate that as well.
Of course. Thank you for tuning in today to Across the Web, and I'll see you next Monday at 9:30.